What's going on, people? I hope everybody is cool. So I wanted to hop on here real quick, man, and just talk about a few things in regards to Donald Trump's presidency and federal workers being fired and food stamps and all type of things. All right, just a couple of points I want to make. Now, we all know that many people voted for Donald Trump with specific issues in mind. Right now, I'm not talking to every Trump supporter, right? But there is a certain sector in Maga, okay, that I'm talking to. Right? And it goes for you racist people, okay? Now, we all know that you voted for Donald Trump with specific issues in mind, especially around DEI, right? Diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and immigration policies, right? I mean, for a lot of voters who supported Donald Trump, they thought DEI programs just meant black folks, okay? That's what they thought. And so they were all in, for Trump's promises to cut back initiatives for DEI and all of that. But what many didn't realize is that Trump's agenda went far beyond that. For instance, okay, his policies has led to thousands of federal workers being fired across various departments, affecting people of all races. Well, a lot of Trump supporters didn't expect that. They thought that it just meant black people. I'm all for it as long as it's going to affect Negras, okay? But they didn't know that a lot of his agenda was going to affect people of all races, including them, okay? And that's something that a lot of Trump supporters didn't see coming. Check this out right here.
We go now to Washington, and the Trump administration's beginning mass layoffs of federal workers impacting multiple agencies. Tens of thousands of employees are expected to lose their jobs. Our senior political correspondent, Rachel Scott, is tracking the latest from the White House. Good morning, Rachel.
Rebecca, good morning to you. And federal workers who did not resign as part of that buyout offer were warned that they could possibly be laid off or fired. And this morning, we are learning that mass layoffs have started across multiple federal agencies. This morning, the Trump administration taking its sweeping efforts to shrink the size of the federal workforce one step further, ordering agencies to lay off nearly all probationary employees, meaning those hired within the last 1 or 2 years. A move that could impact as many as 220,000 federal workers. At the Department of Veteran Affairs alone, more than 1,000 new workers were dismissed. Overnight, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau also firing term employees, with expectations that the rest may be fired today, leaving a skeleton staff of around 5%. The CFPB and VA are just two of several agencies that have started to cut federal workers so far. The administration also targeting the Department of Education and the Environmental Protection Agency. The largest federal employee union slamming the layoffs, calling it a blatant violation of the principles of fairness and merit that are supposed to govern federal employment, and saying the firings are about power. At some agencies, workers learned by email they had been laid off. But at the Office of Personnel Management, others found out on a call.
You will receive your termination notice via email shortly. As a result, your employment with the Office of Personnel Management will end today.
Yeah. Now, a lot of those federal workers that's being fired right now, many of them were Trump supporters. Many of them voted for Donald Trump. And again, I don't swear allegiance to either party, Dem or Republican. So vote for who you want to vote for, but stick around because I'm going somewhere with this message at the end. But yeah, many of them voted for Trump just because they thought Trump was going to harm black people. That's why he got the vote. And what about Alabama? What about Alabama now? Recently in Alabama, energy companies have had to add a $100 surcharge on energy bills due to an executive order that canceled much needed energy assistance for low income residents, right? Check this out right here.
Trump is causing havoc in Alabama right now with his executive orders. Right now, Huntsville Energy is raising bills by $100, and they're going into their bank accounts and taking money out of their bank accounts without them even knowing. It's all over the news, man. This is crazy.
Alabama voted for Donald Trump and Elon Musk. They voted for Donald Trump and Elon Musk to go through the entire budget line by line, or I'm sorry, not line by line. They voted for them to take a sledgehammer to the budget and not give a shit who it hurt. And can I just say that Alabama, you have nobody but yourself to blame. See, while you were so worried about somebody else getting $1, you forgot that you were getting 100 of them. That's right. If you didn't know this, the American taxpayer was subsidizing the state of Alabama's energy grid. I didn't know this, but yeah, that's what we were doing because they're too poor to afford their own energy. So now that Donald Trump and Elon Musk have gotten rid of the grant that helped pay for their energy, all of the people in Alabama are getting a $100 surcharge added to their electricity bill. How's that for inflation? But hey, Alabama, you voted for this, and in all honesty, why should we have to pay your energy bills? Find some bootstraps.
Alabama residents are going to see a $100 increase in their utility bill directly because of Donald Trump's policies. But the best part, the utility company is sending them letters letting them know it's Donald Trump's fault. Now, this is in Huntsville, Alabama, and Huntsville Utilities sent a letter to some of its customers letting them know this. You can pause if you need to, but they are going to receive a $100 increase because the grant that reduced their bill by $100 is being rescinded by Donald Trump. Yeah, they're letting them know this is Donald Trump's fault. We're not taking the hit for this. Now, Donald Trump promised people that he would cut utility bills in half in the first 12 months. And instead, these people in Huntsville, Alabama, a deep red state, are going to see an increase by $100. The worst part, these are the poorest among us. These are people that desperately need this, so they don't have to make a decision between lights or food. And Donald Trump is taking that away. The man who campaigned on lowering costs are making them go up, and now people know beyond a shadow of doubt it's his fault.
See, people were focused on one issue and ignored the broader consequences. See, many of Trump supporters, and I'm just talking to a particular sector, many of them, they only focused on DEI and immigration. That's all they heard. Okay? That's all they heard. Like, they heard the good part of the commercial, but they did not hear the fast part at the end of the commercial, right? You know, on a commercial, when they say, get this and this will happen to you and it's going to be so good, and get this and this is going to treat this, and you're going to feel great and you're going to look great and you're going to think that you're just so high and mighty and you're just going to feel so good. But then at the end of the commercial, it says, that's all the bad stuff, okay, that they're telling you, right? See, many Trump supporters didn't hear that. They just heard the good stuff, right? Now, what's even more troubling is that many of these supporters voted based on hate of certain groups. This is why I don't stand shoulder to shoulder with, you know, a lot of people who vote and all that, because a lot of people have hatred in their heart and they vote for the wrong reasons. Many of MAGA, they voted for hatred. Okay. Like, you know, they hated immigration. They hated black folks, etc. Now, by all means, I support immigration laws. Right? I do. I support immigration laws. But a lot of people in MAGA, they support immigration laws with hatred. See, I support immigration laws because I believe that people need to be checked out, you know, when they come into the country, that we are not getting criminals in the country, that nothing bad is happening, that we are not getting anybody in the country that can do harm, because the United States of America already has enough criminals in it, right? I support immigration based upon that, but they supported immigration based upon, and I don't like anyone that's not white. That's why they voted. Okay? That's why. See, back to DEI. Many Trump supporters thought that DEI was just about black folks. Okay? That's what they thought. But in reality, these programs were designed to help a much, you know, broader range of people. Now, let's talk about food stamps, because Trump has spoken about cutting food stamps and meddling with food stamps and trying to do something with food stamps. Okay. Now, data shows that the majority of people on food stamps in America are actually white folks. That's according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, right? White Americans make up the largest group of food stamp recipients. So if you cut food stamps, you're definitely going to see an uprising in this country. Okay? You're definitely going to see one. And the bulk of people ain't going to be black folks. Okay? But they might try to keep that out the news as much as they can. All right? But when Trump attacks that program, food stamps and all that, it'll be affecting a lot of people in his base. Okay? People who thought that it would just affect black folk. Okay? This is why I want to remind you all. Never put 100% of your trust in any political system or politician. They will let you down. Okay? They might promise things that sound great and they're going to do this and do that and deliver this and deliver that, but it's all to get in the seat. Once they get in, things change. In the end, they often act in ways that hurt the very people who put them in power. Right? Politics is about more than just one or two issues. It's about the bigger picture, man. And sometimes the consequences are far-reaching. See, many of MAGA, they voted based upon hate. They did not think that stuff will come back to harm them. It's like, oh, white federal workers are being fired. Why am I being fired? I'm not black. I'm not black. Okay. Remember, man, as the Bible says in Romans 12:21, quote, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good, unquote. Hatred and division won't win in the end, man. It just won't when it comes to God. It's all about God. All right. But yeah, man, I guess this is what you call FAFO. I don't know. But many of them federal workers that's being fired, they supported Trump. Okay. Many people who have their food stamps threatened, they supported Trump. Okay. That's because they did not read the fine print. They only heard two things: DEI and immigration. Until next time, people, I'm gone. Peace.